you just hate to hear that for this guy who loves the game so much, who has made such an impact so early, and I think to All-Star Weekend, I was on the Technology Summit panel. He was on my panel. Got a chance to talk to him there. Met his dad that day. I mean, and then all of a sudden, this happens.
Well, number one, just wish him good health. And I'm not going to try to play a doctor on television. That's got to be scary when you get that news. Got a chance to see his mom at the All-Star game, but I feel bad for the Spurs organization also because, Ernie, you're right. When they went out and made that De'Aaron Fox trade, you're like, man, this team, they're not going to win the championship, but they could get into the play-in because De'Aaron Fox is a perennial all-star. But I just wish him nothing but the best. But this is a bad look. This is just a bad thing for the Spurs, for the NBA.
Yeah.
When he played over in Paris, man, it was crazy, those 2 games. So good luck to him and his family.
According to my doctor friends, it's common for guys that are very large, especially guys that are very tall, especially with all the flying we do. But one thing I know about the NBA, especially the Spurs organization, they have the top medical people, and I'm glad they just found it. Chuck makes a great point. Scary. This is something that you can possibly not wake up from. So I'm glad they found it, and I'm glad they're, taking control of the situation. And, even though they can make a push of the plan, they're saying, nope, we're shutting you down the whole year. We're going to treat this thing. We're going to make this thing disappear. And my sentiments go out to him and his family. He's a great kid. Someday he will be the face of the league, but he's 21 years old. But I'm just glad they caught it early. And I'm glad the Spurs organization is saying, hey, we love you enough to say, forget, making a push for the playing game. We care about you. We know you are our future. We're shutting this thing down the rest of the year.
Well, it's not safe to play in a situation like that, especially, we don't know, and you would think, give them blood thinners for one, but it's not safe to play because of the physical nature of the game, and you're more easily, it's more likely you will bleed, and if you see internal bleeding, that kind of thing. Right. This is nothing to mess with.
And the first phone call I would make would be to Chris Bosh.
Yeah,
because somebody who's been through it. Like, that would be my first. Anytime I had some type of major injury, I was, hey, tell me about what the rehab and things like that was. That'd be my first phone call.
Well, it happened to Chris Bosh, and it ended his playing days. It happened to Brandon Ingram. It happened to Ausar Thompson, who have had blood clots and then were still able later to play.